Alright, we're talking about the plane ride from hell. I'm joined by Malin Mullins. How you guys doing today?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Same old, same old. Malin, you even
Yeah.
alive? No? Maybe?
Malin has tragically died, which
Well,
could have very well happened.
he
Actually,
might.
segue.
he. It could have happened, as we're going to talk about a little what if scenario on the plane ride from hell. So before we get into the what if scenario, what if Kurt Hennig and Brock Lesnar killed everybody, or at least half of everybody, or everybody? Um, let's give you some quick background information on this. It's May 2002. They're doing a little British pay-per-view. What was it called again, Mullins?
It was called Insurrection.
Insurrection. That's all right. That's a decent pay-per-view name.
It's a different name.
Might be a stretch actually, but after a giant tour and strenuous work for the European tour, they were like, you know what? We're gonna open up the bar. We're gonna let everybody have free drinks.
It's gonna be a party on a plane.
Drunk wrestlers on a plane. Right before all the rules for 9/11 start coming into effect. What's the worst that could happen? Well, let's kick it down. Let's start with the biggest incident, which was Kurt Hennig and Brock Lesnar. They got into it because they're both amateur wrestlers. And
Both from Minnesota area, so
Lesnar,
they're both like
yeah, they're from Minnesota, so they had something to prove. They both had this, you know, something to
it
prove.
was
I think.
basically a pissing contest.
Yeah, something to prove, and who was the better amateur wrestler? And Brock won. Brock won, and they had to break it up because it turned into a real fight. Of course, Brock had to get break up by I'm reading from an article also Dave, Triple H, and Paul Heyman, but also quote some stuff going on from interviews such as X-Pac, Goldust, Dustin Rhodes,
Just incredible.
and Just Incredible. Just Incredible is probably the most credible one of them all. Also, telling us some crazy things. So, of course, the big thing was that Kurt Hennig and Brock Lesnar, they're having their little amateur wrestling fight and whatnot. Well, things might have ended badly because they fought in a way that almost knocked open the exit. And
The big emergency exit.
yeah,
Which
and
obviously, if you do that in midair, that's not a good deal.
you're probably dead. You're 100% dead, actually. But
Yeah.
and it could have sucked in half of the whole roster.
Yeah, half the roster
So
got sucked out
that's
that
where that
door,
whole
too.
what if scenario is going to jump into. Other things that happen, Dustin Rhodes will tell you this is a lie, but there's people also saying this might be true about him serenading his ex-wife. You make your
Terry
point on
Reynolds.
this, but you know,
And then he was told to stop. Like he was
he
told
was
aside and
told to
said,
stop
"You
by
need
Jim
to
Ross.
stop."
So you take your point on that. Jim Ross also said on his roster report on WWE about it, and man, children, stuff like that. And I quote: "The flight was about 7 hours in length, and at times was low-lighted by a handful of people who consumed too much alcohol and consequently acted like children, whose parents were away and left the liquor cabinet unlocked." Pretty true. Other big story, two big stories. Ric Flair kind of got charged for just flashing his 60-year-old genitalia at stewardess and waitress. This is
Yeah, he was just walking around with
multiple
just
ones.
his Ric Flair robe on, nothing else.
And there's also rumors that one of the girls also was naked, wearing
Yeah,
his clothing, his robe. So there's that. But another
There's no
big story.
confirmation on if that was a stewardess, if that was just a groupie, if that was
Yeah.
someone who worked with the WWE.
Yeah, but I'd say the two big stories are definitely the Kurt Hennig and Brock, and then the Michael P.S. Hayes, and what he did. So of course he's writing, he's a road agent, stuff like that. You can't really mess with your boss. But he busted open Bradshaw because Bradshaw was previously busted open the night before with a match with X-Pac. Some people say it was Eddie Guerrero, but X-Pac says it was him, so we're gonna say that. And Bradshaw beat the crap out of Michael P.S. Hayes, and then when Michael P.S. Hayes went to sleep, they cut off his mullet. So
Sean Waltman, X-Pac,
yeah,
chopped off the mullet part of his hair.
that's crazy. But let's get into the what if scenario. This is one thing that kind of made me think, because this hasn't been brought up in recent times. And if we look back at it now and how things unfolded, there's, they said Linda McMahon was on the plane. Also, another person who Michael P.S. Hayes almost peed on. Yeah, it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing much more we can say about that other than
it
he
happened.
almost peed on. I don't even want to talk about that.
Linda, but poor Linda, but the big thing is if WWE would have lost half or all of their roster that day, they're long lasting in the wrestling industry. Probably they probably wouldn't even have a company. Everything
Like,
would have
think
to get
about
shut
this.
down.
This is when TNA was first starting up.
Exactly, and NWA
We could be
TNA,
looking at a very different landscape.
NWA TNA could have been in the position to be the WWE and without having any competition. I mean,
Because at that point, we got to look at it right now. We have Triple H was on there, Vince and Linda were on there. There's no confirmation on Shane or Stephanie, so right now, like, they would be obviously the heir apparent.
that would affect Stephanie though, because her and Triple H, I believe in 2002 they're clicking up.
Shane would honestly probably have to pick this company up
which
from
would be
the ashes.
which would be very hard, because who are they going to build the company on the backbone of? To be honest, I mean, this is, we're still a little bit away from Cena, maybe, or maybe we're just now getting Cena, but it's still like that might be too soon for him. Of course, you're losing a lot of big, great names in the wrestling industry, and you're losing people who would go to TNA. But you look at TNA and how they worked with what they got, and I think that's definitely a notable thing, is that TNA really could have been a huge threat in this. So
yeah, TNA could have honestly it would have been a much more different war that they've had with WWE if WWE had half their roster taken away.
So you tell us your thoughts down below. What if the plane ride from hell literally ended with hell on earth for the wrestling industry? And until next time.